Olá, hoje veja entrevista a Chester Williams, ex-jogador sul-africano de rugby. O Chester, ele ficou conhecido como o único negro campeão, o único negro da seleção sul-africana campeã de rugby em 1995, na época em que o Nelson Mandela era o presidente sul-africano, um ano depois do fim do apartheid, e aquele time foi usado como uma forma de unir os negros e brancos no país. Essa história provavelmente você pode já ter visto no filme Invictus, do Clint Eastwood, lançado em 2009, que conta essa história dessa seleção, a importância dela na história do esporte e da política na África do Sul. Hoje comigo na bancada eu tenho o Diego Braganorte, nosso editor de internacional do site de VEJA, e nós vamos conversar com o Chester sobre essas questões raciais, do esporte, Olimpíada. No momento ele está aqui no Brasil para participar do revezamento da tocha olímpica, então vai ser um programa sobre vários assuntos. Chester, thanks a lot for your visit. It's a pleasure for us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, I'd like to know how was the beginning of your, like the first time you play rugby, because it wasn't a sport for black people at that time. Like how hard it was for you to get into the sport?
Well, I won't say it wasn't a sport for black people. It was a sport for black people, but we were not allowed to play with the whites or against them. When I was small, of course, and you go to different schools. You're not allowed to go to white schools. You go to black schools. So we played amongst each other as black people, and the white people were playing together there themselves. And eventually, I mean, of course, as years passed, we started to play against them a bit, but we never allowed to go with them in the same change room or in the same after-match function or drive on the same bus. You know, you have to always segregate the two groups. So yes, rugby was always there for both, but we were not allowed to be together.
But when did it start to change? Like at that time, in 1995?
I must say that the big change came in 1995, but the build-up to that was probably since 1990, somewhere there, just before Nelson Mandela got released, and rugby became more accepted by the white people for black people as well. And I think that's also where I made my inroads. You know, I started to play rugby for my state team, Western Province.
Okay, Diego.
So the apartheid ended more than 20 years ago. How's the situation in South Africa right now? Do you think you still have wounds to heal?
Of course, we still have wounds to heal, because our apartheid has been there for 100 years, and we've only been a democratical country for the last 20 years. So there's a lot of work still to be done, and yes, there's still some racism going on there back home, but we're working on that. And as I said, it's a long-term process that we have to work and make sure that we can be successful as a nation. Yes, 1995 Rugby World Cup did unite us as a country more, but there's still a lot more to be done.
But the situation improved, isn't it?
So yeah, the situation is definitely improving. And of course, we tolerate each other. We start to become more closer and accept each other, which is obviously a positive step for us as a nation.
Chester, tell us a little bit about that World Cup in South Africa, 1995. How that event changed things like in the country, and the importance of Nelson Mandela on this?
Well, I mean, yeah, the Rugby World Cup was obviously hosted by South Africa, but I think the influence of Nelson Mandela presenting the what do you call it now? Let me get a word for it. Sorry, let me just cut that, but I'm trying to get a word for it. The bid. And Nelson Mandela bidding for that for the World Cup, and made us getting the Rugby World Cup final, or made us the host of the Rugby World Cup final. And before the Rugby World Cup started, we as a team had to go and visit townships and make sure that the underprivileged kids also get taught rugby, or the black kids must also been taught playing rugby. And Nelson Mandela insisted us to go there. I think at first the white people resisted to it, But then the captain, Francois Pina, told the team, listen, times have changed, so we all need to change as well. And with that, we all decided we're going to go to the townships, and we went and taught the kids playing rugby. And as you just mentioned earlier on, when I got off the bus, the kids were chanting Chester, Chester, because I was the only black guy on the team, and so they were only following me.
This is a very beautiful part of the movie. Yeah. Like that was true.
I inspired them to play rugby, and that was all before the Rugby World Cup started in 1995. We had to go. Obviously, Nelson Mandela come to our training sessions. He would greet the players. He knew every single one's names and position they play, and he would come to a hotel and motivate us. And of course, before the Rugby World Cup final, Nelson Mandela walked into our change room where he told us, with a big smile on his face, obviously, hello, my fellow South Africans, I'm here to support you. I'm probably your biggest fan today, and I want you to go out there and make South Africa proud. He shook everybody's hand, went out to the stadium, and the whole people cheered him, and they were very excited to see Nelson. And then we ran on the field, and final whistle, we won the Rugby World Cup, and to see all the people embracing each other, some were crying in disbelief that we won the Rugby World Cup, and that's probably the first time I saw a United Nation in South Africa.
That's nice.
And how was your relation with Nelson Mandela?
I must say I had a very good relationship with him because, as I just mentioned earlier on as well, before the Rugby World Cup, we met up with each other, and he would tell me what his plans would do to unite the nation. And obviously, I was instrumental. I played an instrumental role into that plans of his being part of the Springbok team. Unfortunately, I got 2 weeks before the Rugby World Cup kicked off, I got injured, so I had to withdraw from the team. But luckily for me, 2 weeks in the Rugby World Cup, I got called back into the team because 2 players got suspended from the Rugby World Cup, and I got back in the side and played the quarterfinals.
We just saw the highlights of you playing against Samoa. That was probably the best moment of your career, right?
Yes, of course. It was my opening game in the Rugby World Cup. First game, scoring 4 tries. Still the most tries for a Springbok scoring in the Rugby World Cup. So yes, I was. Then people obviously realized then I was not there because of tokenism. I was there because I was the best in my position. And from then onwards, we just kept on being. We actually grew as a team. We were not a team anymore. We became a family. So everybody was looking after each other, make sure that everybody's happy and everything is ready for us to win that Rugby World Cup final.
Talking about the Invictus, did you like the film?
I enjoyed the film for this reason. I appreciate this for the movie, I must say, because it presented more of what South Africa is about before, during, and after the apartheid, and now people also came and wanted to visit South Africa because of the movie. They see what a great country we really are. And I must say, they do, whenever they leave there, they always say what a great country we have.
And what about the guy that played you? Was he a professional player, wasn't it?
Yes, he's a professional player. He played for the Springboks himself at wing, so he was playing my role. I think he was a bit slow for me, but it's okay. I don't mind that.
So you didn't have to teach him how to play, just like you did with Matt Damon.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't have to teach the player that played in my position. I just had to tell him what he needs to do. But Matt Damon was a bit of a challenge to coach rugby.
He wasn't that good.
He's a good actor. He's a great actor. He's a great actor, but his rugby skills need to improve a lot more.
Okay, and the film showed Francois Pienaar, Matt Damon, as a very great leader. Leader. Was he really like that? I mean, you had a good relation. How was the relation?
I must say, I think Francois Pienaar is probably the one. It's not easy. He still is the best or the greatest captain South Africa ever had. Franz presented himself very well, not as an individual, but as a team man, as a captain. He was there just to make sure that every single one understand. He was a leader for his team. Whenever there was a problem, he would stand up for the team. No, he was just an amazing captain to play under.
You said it was like a family for you, but there was no prejudice with you at that time anymore.
No, I must say, within the team, I had all the support, 100% from every single player. Of course, years before that, there was obviously prejudice. There was, times where I couldn't even stay in a hotel with my teammates, but that was part of the struggle, and that's why I'm sitting here, because I fought the struggle, and I came out on top. And I wish and I hope there's other players in the same situation, they can just use their talent to become to prove to the people that racism is more than just being color. It's about talent. It's about you outshine people because of your talent, and overcome that struggle.
Chester, but you didn't feel used by the government, just to be a product of the change, you didn't feel disrespect.
Did you feel like being a piece of propaganda?
Probably in the beginning of my career, because I was only a black player in the team, and all the provinces, my state team as well. You initially start feeling that, but the minute they realize that you actually have the talent and you're good enough to play, they're embracing you. By 95, no. I was there because I was selected because I was there in merit. They were so desperate to play me, even when I was injured. They tried to get me right, but unfortunately my hamstrings were not strong enough at the time.
Talking about nowadays, are you following the news about the Black Lives Matter in the US?
I only heard about it this morning, so I'm probably going to try and follow up and see what is it about. But as I said earlier on, it's all about not about color anymore. It's about your talent, and if you're the best player, you get selected as being the best player, and that's what life is about. Is if you're in business, the same situation. If you don't have your best business plan together, then you're not going to get the job. So in rugby, if you can prove to them that you can play the best and are the best in your position or sport, then you will get selected, eventually, of course, and we need to understand that.
Okay. And here in Brazil, we are experiencing some problems with haters, internet haters, users that use the internet to spread prejudice and racism. And from your experience, what can you do about it? What can you do to exterminate racism, to minimize, to get rid of it?
I think it's a very difficult thing. It's almost like it's not as big as poverty in the world, but it is probably become more like that. People talk. The more social network can talk about it, the worse it's going to become. So somehow you need to either stop it from people talking on it. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they have to stop it to promoting it on social network, because the more people get it in their mind, the bigger the problem becomes. And that's the biggest concern now with that. We as sports legends and supporters would like to use sport to unite people, and this is exactly why I'm sitting here, is because I'm here to help Brazil building or developing their rugby, making sure that people understand that rugby or sport is a nation builder. Like the Olympics, a great opportunity maybe as well to have a slogan during during the Olympics where they say racism should be banned or should be stopped. Somehow they must have a slogan and not promoting, but try to stop racism across the world.
Chester, talking about the Olympics, South Africa hosted the World Cup of Rugby in 1995 and also the World Cup of Soccer in 2010. Do you think it's positive for a poor country to host a big event like that?
It is possible because we have hosted
but it's positive. You think it's good for the country?
Yes, of course. It is positive. It is because that actually bring people together, and probably in the situation that Brazil is, there's probably a great opportunity for you guys to make use of this opportunity with the Olympics, to get the government and these people and their people working together and make a success.
We are trying very hard.
For example, the soccer stadiums there in South Africa they used in 2010, they are good for the country. Because the soccer stadium we built here for our World Cup, it's not a good thing.
Well, our stadiums, they are busy moving now from our stadium, from the old stadium to the new stadiums, the rugby, but the soccer teams, they still use the stadiums for international games, or for provincial teams, like state games. So we're using our stadiums, which is like a great positive for us as Africans.
You told me before that it's your second time in Brazil, right? How you feel about it? What is your experience so far? What you can tell us about our country?
There's two things that stood out to me. I mean, maybe three things. There's a lot of buildings here, and it's very crowded. The buildings are on top of each other houses. But then the other thing is that still your country is very clean. Every day I walk through the streets, it's always clean. People sweeping in the street, which is amazing, and I really enjoy that, because people appreciate being a Brazilian, because they're proud of the country. And then of course your people are quite friendly. They were willing to help and assist if you walk in the street, and even though they don't speak English well, they try and find someone to help you, which is very nice.
Chester, rugby is getting back to the Olympics 92 years after the last time. Do you think rugby can be a popular sport here in Brazil? Because right now we don't have a very good team, but they are improving.
You don't have to have a good team, but you have to have a good inspiration to make the team develop. And the rugby sevens in the Olympics is going to be a great asset for your country to build on it, because we know how excited rugby is. We know sevens rugby is. It's 14 minutes, 7 minutes aside. It's fast, it's quick, and the people are going to love it. I tell you now, I've been to the two Commonwealth Games, and both those days were 50,000 people packed. The stadium were full. People don't understand the sport, but they were sitting there and they have fun and enjoy it, and that's exactly what's going to happen now with the Olympics. I hope the stadium is big enough, because I'm telling you now that there's going to be a lot of people coming to those 2 days watching rugby.
For us, it's kind of strange to see, because you guys play a very aggressive game without helmets and that kind of stuff. Do you got injured a lot on your career? And
well, I didn't get a lot of head injuries. Only my knee. I had torn my anterior cruciate ligament, but that can happen in any sport. Well, we condition ourselves for rugby, and from small, and that's why your injury is minimal. If you look at rugby, there is not really very serious back or neck injuries in rugby. Yeah, there is one or two, but the comparison to how many people playing rugby, it's very, very small to think about spinal injuries in rugby.
Okay, just to finish.
Did you enjoy carrying the torch, the Olympic fire?
Well, the Olympics, it was an honor, as I said, to carry the torch for my country, my family, my colleagues that work at the University of Western Cape. It's amazing to represent them, and Africa, of course. Running the street with the torch and showcase Africa to Brazil. And yes, it was a very exciting moment for me. It was close to winning the Rugby World Cup.
Is this yours? Are you going to take it through?
Of course, I'll take it home. It is mine. I'm going to frame it and put my clothes with it and hang it up in my
and maybe
room.
The Olympics in South Africa in some years.
Okay, they are talking of. We have the Commonwealth Games in 2000 and somewhere. But it's close. It's close. But we are nominated in Durban. It's going to be in Durban.
And you're now a coach, right?
Yes, I'm a rugby coach.
Wouldn't you like to be a coach in Brazil, like Brazil national team, maybe on the next Olympics?
Well, if they approach me, one never knows, We can see, and I don't have to be a full-time. I can be a consultant. So I'm available, because even though I'm having a coaching job in South Africa, I'm quite free to move around.
And to finish, you also have a project, a social project in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I've got a foundation, the Chester Williams Foundation, and we're looking after education, leadership, and then and health, and of course and sport. And then I have a falar. What do you call it? A squatter camp. Where poor kids live. What do you call it?
Favela.
Yeah. I have that as back at home. It's called Chester Williams, the Chester Williams Township, and I make sure that I'm looking after poorly the kids, you know, making sure they're getting clothes, they're getting food,
And
they go to
where
school.
is it, in Johannesburg?
No,
or
it's in Cape Town. It's in Cape Town, yes. So if anyone out there want to support me, please, you can contact me on my website, the Chester Williams website, or just straight contact me directly with Chester at chesterwilliams.co.za, and then we can talk about it. But it's very kids are very close to my heart, because you know they are the future of not of my country only, but they are the future of the world.
Sure.
And I talk about everybody out there in the world.
Sure. Chester, thanks a lot for your visit. It was a pleasure for us. Diego, obrigado pela participação. A gente encerra mais um Veja Entrevista e convido vocês para o programa da próxima semana. Obrigado.